Yo, so I hope everybody had a good wild card weekend. If you followed the picks on the YouTube channel, we went 3-1. The only L being the Raiders +6. The Raiders ended up losing by a touchdown, but we were able to capitalize on that Niners money line. So we had a good weekend, and we're gonna go over these divisional games. First one being the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. The Bengals are given 3.5 points as the underdogs. And I'm going to make this short and sweet. The Tennessee Titans have Derrick Henry coming back, and the Cincinnati Bengals just lost their best run stopper, Larry Ogunjobi. And I think Tennessee's just going to be able to pound the ball on them. And Tennessee's defense has been great this season. Top 5 defense, if we're being honest. So that's what the stats say, and that's what the eyeball test says. Is Tennessee has a top 5 defense. They play really hard, and they're connected, and they get to the ball quickly. They're swarming to the ball. So I think they're going to put Joe Burrow under pressure. I think that they're going to stop the run. And yeah, Joe Burrow's going to make some plays because he's going to pull some, he's going to have something up his sleeve. He's going to make some magic happen, but it's just too much to ask for from a Cincinnati team that, look, they did what they're supposed to do. They went on this magic carpet ride, and they got to the playoffs, and they even won a playoff game. And that's the first time Cincinnati has won a playoff game in forever. So they already completed their Super Bowl. They already completed the mission, and I think they come out a little flat because they're feeling themselves a little bit. And I think they know that they've exceeded expectations. And, the divisional rounds, this is where shit gets serious. So I like Tennessee in this spot. I think Derrick Henry coming back, fresh legs. He missed most of the season. He's going to have fresh legs. I think Mike Vrabel is going to continue to do what he's been doing all year, and he's going to coach that defense up. He's not going to allow Ryan Tannehill to screw the game up. He'll let Ryan Tannehill sling the ball, but as you can see here, Ryan Tannehill threw for less than 4,000 yards, so he's not going to let Ryan Tannehill do too much. He's going to keep it. He's going to keep it conservative with Ryan Tannehill, and he'll let him air it out only when appropriate. So I like Tennessee to win this game by at least a touchdown. I think 3.5 is no big deal. I would say place it now because I like the number at 3.5, but we might even get a better number if the public just comes in hard on the Bengals and comes in hard because of Joe Burrow. So I would wait, see if we could get it at 3. Also, COVID, everything going on, you might just want to hold off on that. But yeah, I like Tennessee to win this game fairly easily. It's the first game of the weekend, and I think it's the easiest game of the weekend to call. So Tennessee Titans -3.5 is the play. So next we have the Saturday night game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers will be heading into Green Bay as 6-point underdogs. And before I even talk about the game, I just want to talk about why the line is the way that it is. See, the line opened up at 4.5, but now it's at 6. And you could say that it's because the public just wants to bet on Green Bay, but I think it's because the Sharps know something that we don't know about the Jimmy G injury. Now, I remember watching Jimmy G throw against the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football, and the ball was just coming out of his hand real funky. And then when I was watching him play against Dallas in the first half, we made money betting on that Niners money line against Dallas, but in the first half, he looked all good, and Kyle Shanahan was drawing up plays where Jimmy really didn't have to do too much. But in the second half, the ball just started coming out kind of clunky. Like one time when he threw it to Kittle, it was a real funky throw, and Kittle caught it kind of funny, and he ended up fumbling. And then he had another terrible throw to Brandon Ayuk, and I don't know if I could blame that on the injury to his thumb or if that's just Jimmy G being Jimmy G, because we know Jimmy G is careless with the football. But it's just interesting because this line started at 4.5, and it's at 6 now, and it might even creep up even more. But I can't take the Niners without knowing that Jimmy G can at least play at the normal Jimmy G level that, he's been playing at during the season. If we don't get normal Jimmy G, or if we get even Trey Lance, if Jimmy G can't play, then you have to go Green Bay. No matter what the line is, you have to go Green Bay. But given that we're getting Jimmy G, if we're to make the assumption that Jimmy G is going to play at his normal level, I like San Francisco in this spot a lot. Now, hear me clearly. I think Green Bay is going to win the game. But just like we saw on that Sunday night matchup in Week 3 early in the season, when Aaron Rodgers was in San Francisco, when he led the Packers to a game-winning field goal with like 37 seconds left on the clock. He hit Devontae Adams twice, back-to-back, boom, boom. Big shots down the field. And Green Bay was able to win with, it was a 51-yard field goal, I think, by Mason Crosby, if I'm remembering correctly. But I think it's going to be something like that. I think, it's going to be terrible conditions in Green Bay. They're saying it's going to be about 0 degrees out there, snow. So I think this is a spot where a team like the Niners that are very physical, a team like the Niners that run the football, and the Packers are a little bit of a finesse team. They're a little pretty. They're a little cute. And I think Green Bay could pound. I think the 49ers could pound it on them. I think the 49ers could. They're not going to pound them the same way that they were able to pound the Cowboys, but they'll be able to pound them. And if it feels like Kyle Shanahan kind of has the recipe for Green Bay a little bit, like he knows how to attack that defense. So we've seen the Niners have playoff success against Green Bay. We've seen the Niners have success against Aaron Rodgers, period. For years now, even dating back to Kaepernick. The Niners have always kind of had success against Aaron Rodgers. So, I like the Niners in this spot with the points. Niners to cover, Green Bay to win. If you want to take Green Bay money line, I haven't took a look at what the money line is, but if you want to take Green Bay on the money line, I'm pretty confident Green Bay is going to win the game. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners were able to pull this off. But with that many points, if Jimmy is playing, if Jimmy is fine, he got that shoulder injury and he got that thumb injury now. If Jimmy is fine, you got to take the Niners with that kind of points, man. I say, as the week goes on, just pay attention to Jimmy. And if the word is Jimmy is okay and we're getting at least 5 points, the play is the Niners. So that's my play in this game is Niners plus 5 or more as long as Jimmy G plays. But hey, they're giving us 6 right now. I saw one book had it at 6.5, so we'll see. But yeah, play is Niners to cover, Green Bay to win. All right, so on Sunday we have a thrilling matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams will be heading into Tampa as 3-point underdogs, and that line has been moving a little bit. It started off at 3, it went down to 2.5, now it's back up to 3, and I'm glad it has because I'm telling you guys right now, I like the Rams to go into Tampa and win that game. I'm actually probably going to take the Rams with the money line because for a couple reasons. Tampa Bay is getting a little weak at that O-line. Tampa Bay, Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen, 2 of their top O-linemen, both got hurt in that last game against the Eagles. And once they went down and once they were beat up, the Eagles started getting some pressure on Brady. They started getting to him a little bit. And when you're talking about Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, these are guys who are going to rush the passer, and they're going to get to Brady. And, if there's one thing we've learned from Brady's stints in Tampa, from his stint in Tampa, is the one team that has given him trouble is the New Orleans Saints. And that's because they get pressure on the inside. They get pressure with 4, and they get pressure with the DTs. And the Rams are going to do the same thing. They're going to get pressure inside. And if you remember, the Rams played the Buccaneers early in the season, and they were doing just that. They were getting pressure with 4, and they were getting pressure with the DTs inside. And Brady doesn't like that because Brady is going to stay in the pocket. He's going to stay in the pocket. He wants to be able to step up in the pocket. He wants to be able to dance a little bit in that pocket. Brady has great pocket feet, so he's going to make his little left in the pocket or move a little right in the pocket. But when you're talking about the guys that the Rams have, the personnel that the Rams have to rush the passer with 4 and to really just, clog it up for Brady and wreck shop, it's going to be tough for him, and it's going to drive him a little crazy. And when in doubt, his favorite receivers in Tampa, his favorite guys are Leonard Floyd. Of course, Gronkowski is his favorite guy, but his favorite guys are Leonard Floyd. Not Leonard Floyd, excuse me. His favorite guys are Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown, of course. And all 3 of those guys are going to be out. They're saying Fournette might be back, but most likely all 3 of those guys are going to be out. So that just leaves them with all this pass rush coming at him with no real run game. Tampa Bay doesn't really have a run game, and his O-line might be banged up. And the only receiver that he really, really trusts now is Mike Evans, outside of Gronkowski. So it's a bad spot for Brady. And look, if there's anybody who can overcome it, it's Tom Brady. If there's one guy who you don't want to bet against in pro sports, it's Tom Brady. But I I just don't like this spot for him. I think Stafford could even struggle a little bit, and the Rams could still win this game. And one thing that makes me feel really good about this Rams pick is how McVay was using Stafford against the Cardinals. He gave him the golf treatment. I mean, Stafford only threw it he threw it less than 20 times. I want to say he was 13 for 17 for like 200 yards. So he gave him the golf treatment where it's just like, we're going to run the ball and, you're going to work off of play action. And I know Tampa Bay has a great run defense. They're not going to run it all over them the way that they did to the Cardinals. But I think the Rams should be able to run it just enough that it keeps the play action alive. Run it just enough that, it just opens things up and it allows Stafford to feel a little bit more free. And I don't expect that Stafford is going to have a great game by any means, but his degree of difficulty and what he'll be going through, he'll have an easier time out there than Brady. He should have an easier time out there than Brady. So, I'll take the more comfortable quarterback in this scenario. And, they're giving us points, but I like the money line. But hey, to be safe, Rams plus 3 is a good play. I like Rams plus 3. And the total at 48, the total was 48.5, and it's actually gone up to 49 now. I like the under, just like I like the under, and just like how I had the under. If you follow me on Twitter, I had the under in the Cardinals-Rams game. I like the under. I like the under again for the Rams. I think they're going to get pressure. I think he's going to get the golf treatment, and this should be a low-scoring game. So, I like Rams money line, and I like the under. But the official pick, I don't really like betting totals too much, so the official pick here is Rams money line. And for the last game of the weekend, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. As of right now, it's Buffalo Bills plus 2. It was plus 2.5, but it's shot down to 2. On a couple books, it's even shot down to 1.5. Who knows what we'll get by the weekend? It might even be 1. There's just been so much money coming in on the Buffalo side. We got pros and Joes. So much money, and so many of the bets are on the Bills. And I understand why, because this is a game that I don't really want you guys to touch, but if you have to touch it, I would take the Bills on the money line, because the Bills built this roster to play against Kansas City, and Kansas City has been riding a roller coaster ride up and down this year, and maybe we can catch Kansas City in a bad game. Maybe we catch Kansas City when they're slipping a little bit. Maybe we catch them with Patrick Mahomes making 1 or 2 dumb errors. And the Bills' defense was built to play against this team, because the Bills can't stop the run, but the Bills play the pass well. The Bills are good in the secondary, and the Bills have a good pass rush, and that plays well against Kansas City. I know Kansas City ran the ball against the Steelers a little bit, and that was cute, but at the end of the day, against the real teams like Buffalo, it's going to be the Patrick Mahomes show. So I like the Buffalo Bills' chance. I like the roster that they built to go against Kansas City. They have a dynamic quarterback who can keep up the scoring with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And they also have a defense that was kind of made to play against this team. And we saw it when they played earlier in the season. I mean, they killed Kansas City in Arrowhead. So that should make you feel a little bit more confident. I know it's hard to beat the same team twice in a season. That's why, a lot of times in divisional games, they'll split. But I just think this team was made to play against Kansas City. And I think that's why so many of the sharps and so many of the pros and so many of the Joes are all going with the Buffalo Bills, because I think you guys see the same thing I see, that this team kind of matches up pretty well with them. And Mahomes had just made some dumb errors this year, and I'm expecting him to give us at least 1. By me saying I'm taking Buffalo, that means I'm expecting Mahomes to have at least 1 turnover, 1 fumble where he's just being loose with the ball, or 1 just inexcusable interception or something like that. I'm saying that I'm expecting Mahomes to do that when I take Buffalo. Now, if Mahomes just has a virtuoso, which he's very capable of doing, Kansas City's going to win this game. And that's why I'd say if there's any game I want you guys to bet the least, it's probably this game, because I like the Titans versus the Bengals a lot. I like the Niners to cover as long as Jimmy G is okay. And I like the Rams versus the Buccaneers. And if you're someone who likes betting totals, I like the under, especially as that total creeps up. If that total goes up to 50, I'm definitely going to take the under. So, there's a lot of meat on the bone this week where, you can eat on a few other different bets, but this game right here, I don't know. The total is super high. It's like 55. And it's like you want to go over because it's the Bills and the Chiefs. And they went over last time they played in the playoffs, but I don't know. That number's just so high. This game's virtually a pick 'em. But, the Bills are getting less than 3 on the road. I think the bookies are trying to tell us that the Bills are the better team. I think they're trying to, by even lowering the line, and now it's at 2, going on 1.5, I think they're saying that the Bills are the better team. I think they know something. And I agree. I think everybody's just kind of in unison right now. Like, when they played each other on Sunday night earlier in the year, everybody had the Bills. The money was on the Bills. The bets were on the Bills. Pros, Joes, the Sunday night crew, and the NBC crew. They were all on the Bills. And I think everybody's on the Bills this time around, and I understand why. I wish I had a different take. I wish I said, hey, I'm rolling with Mahomes. He'd been to the Super Bowl 2 times in a row. But I can't. I'm going with Buffalo. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City pulls this out, because this is the toughest game to call this weekend. And I'm not mad at anybody who says, I got to roll with the champs. I got to roll with the AFC champs, the 2-time defending champs. I'm not mad at that. This is the game that I want you guys to bet the least. But if you have to pick a side here, I'm going Buffalo. And, when the point total is that low, I would say take the money line, because I actually think that Buffalo is going to pull out a win. If I had to put a score, maybe Buffalo 31-28 Buffalo, 31-30 Buffalo. I don't know. It's too tough to call. But, because I could also see Kansas City defense stepping up and Josh Allen maybe getting a little sloppy, but Buffalo's defense kind of keeping them up. It's just too tough to call. That total is very tough. But yeah, I'd go Buffalo money line. This is my least favorite pick of the week, but Buffalo money line's the play.